Are you sick of being limited to the ground? The frustration of always hitting impassable terrain when you're getting to those dungeons or world quests? Or, just trying to do anything in Revendreth? Well, it's almost time to throw off those shackles of oppression and take to the skies, because in this video I'm going to show you how to unlock flying in Shadowlands, when you'll be able to do it, and how to prepare for it right now, as well as showing you the brand new Covenant specific flying mounts you'll get for unlocking it. Hey there guys, and welcome to a Giraffic guide on everything we know so far about flying in Shadowlands. So the announcement came out at BlizzCon last week that flying is confirmed for patch 9.1. And if you're a fan of soaring above your foes, this is great news because it's a patch earlier than we've seen historically. While we don't have an official release date yet, we do have some speculation about when it might be. The decision to release a half patch in 9.0.5 indicates that Blizzard weren't ready to drop 9.1 anytime soon, so wanted to give the players something to tide them over. We've also got a huge hint from the Arena World Championship calendar that Season 2 is currently planned for around the July-August mark. AWC seasons historically align with patch cycles, so this is probably the best guide we have of when 9.1 is actually going to go live. If this is correct, and they launch sometime around July, it's going to be one of the longest first patches we've had for some time. What I can tell you though is exactly what you're going to need to do to unlock flying once 9.1 arrives, and how you can prepare for it now to make sure you get it as soon as possible. Flying will again be tied to the Pathfinder achievement system, but before you all collectively groan in disgust, there will be no reputation grind this time. In fact, it's not tied to reputation at all. I think they finally got the message that no one found this fun. You now get the Pathfinder achievement from completing the 9.1 Covenant campaign, but you're not going to be able to just jump in on day one of the patch and smash through the whole thing. Nope, it's going to be structured similarly to the 9.0 campaign, where each chapter will be locked behind a renown level. I can't imagine this new chain will be as long as the original though, so maybe 4 to 5 chapters? I think they're going to do this one of two ways. Because another 40 renown levels are being added in 9.1, they could lock the new chapters behind level 40, keeping the same progression of one chapter per 3 levels like they do now, which would see us all able to get flying by the 4th or 5th week of the patch if you keep up with your renown chores every week. But I'm willing to bet they won't do that because it's going to create an awful experience for new players, unless of course they drastically increase the catch-up level drops. Finishing the first 9 chapters at renown level 22 and then having to grind up to 40 to continue the campaign would feel really jarring and unnecessary. I think it's a lot more likely that the final chapter of the 9.1 campaign will be awarded at renown 40 or maybe 43 after 1 week of the new patch, with the earlier chapters unlocked through the 30s to close that gap. Luckily though, you won't have to do this with any other characters because Pathfinder will unlock Shadowlands flying for your entire account across both factions for all characters on or above level 50. However, don't get too excited about zipping around Oribos or skipping the trash in the Maw, because currently flying will be restricted to the 4 main Shadowlands zones in Bastion, Maldraxxus, Ardenweald and Revendreth. That means absolutely no flying in the new subzone of Korthia, and unfortunately you're not going to be able to fly between the main zones either, or use the portals from your mount. To hop between zones, you're still going to need to find a flight master, which yes, is annoying, but I can completely understand the technical limitations behind it. Now, if you want to get a head start and unlock flying as early as possible, you should get one of your characters to renown level 40 before patch 9.1 drops, just in case they lock it behind these higher levels. If you're a little bit behind and want to quickly catch up on your renown, you should absolutely check out my video on the most efficient methods of renown catch-up that also explains the catch-up soft cap and was featured in an Icy Veins article. There's a link at the top of the screen, but I'll also chuck it in the description down below. So, not only will completing the 9.1 Covenant campaign unlock flying for your account, but you'll also get access to some cool brand new flying mounts themed around each of the Covenants. First up, we have these Kyrian owl things. They're kinda cool and fit the theme really well, but Basically, they're just the Legion priest mount with a fancy hat on. So not really much to talk about here. Overall, a little bit meh compared to the others, but I do absolutely love that they've put the Forsworn one in there, and I think it's going to be a pretty popular choice. The Necrolords have these really intense corpse flies that are a pretty unique idea. Something about them is just a little off for me though. I think it's that it doesn't really fit with the WoW color palette. Nothing else in the game is really that bright and multicolored, so I don't know, it's just a tad too much. But I can see that a bunch of people will absolutely love this, and I think that if they give it some good twitchy bug-like animations, it'll be pretty cool to see them swarming around Maldraxxus. For the Venthyr mounts, they've gone with the gargoyle-y, stoneborn creature vibe, which is very clearly the majority favourite from everything I've seen, and I can understand why. They've definitely captured that edgy, gothic, stony sort of feel to them, which is really cool. And for a while, these were my favourite too. But at the same time, it's just a bit too safe for me. Picturing a bunch of these gargoyle bird thingies flying around Revendreth doesn't quite give me that same wow factor. But finally, the Night Fae get this magnificent and terrifying creature, this fox cloud serpent hybrid thingy. And I can't honestly remember the last time I've been this conflicted. When I first saw it announced at BlizzConline, I remember thinking it was the dumbest looking mount I've ever seen. And yet I couldn't look away. It just kept growing on me, and now I need it in my life. I actually love the fact that it contrasts so well with the Ardenweald purples and blues, because these are going to look so amazing zooming around the Sanctum. It reminds me so much of that laughing fox video. You know, this one? And that can never be a bad thing. Let me know which of the Covenant mounts is your favourite, or which ones you absolutely hate down in the comments. Please hit that little red subscribe button down below if you liked the video and want to stay in the loop with everything Giraffic. It really helps me out and gives me the cheesiest smile for the rest of the day. I'm going to keep pumping out guides and news content for all things Shadowlands, and maybe even start looking into Burning Crusade Classic when the beta launches. For the amazing people that are subscribed already, I'm sorry it's been a while between uploads recently. I'm actually getting married in 2 weeks, and organising the wedding has been chaotic to say the least. I'll get back into a normal schedule after the wedding and hopefully set a date to start my live streams, which I am super excited about. But until next time, thanks for watching, take care, and good luck prepping for 9.1.